public records ought to be public property, and the charge, if there's any, ought to just be minimal. And $1 a page for anything, to me, seems outrageous. People forget that this is information which we have paid to create. And then when it's held back for whatever reason, it defeats the whole purpose of good government. And I understand the concerns about costs and whatever, but the fact is, anything we can do to shed light on government is very positive. It was actually brought to me by former Senator Terry Kerr, and he had got the idea from the Press Association, so it was actually motivated by the press. But I have been a strong advocate of open government and litigated public entities a lot. I know how abusive some of these agencies can be as far as making it hard to get materials. And first they say you can't get them, and then when you do go for them, they'll charge like $1 a page, or they'll charge you, $100 an hour to have somebody stand at the copy machines. Seems to me that that ought to be definitely for free. I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts. And if they have to have an IT person find it, then that's their problem. But I mean, again, they forget that this is the public, who is the taxpayer, who is paying their salaries and paying for their budgets. And we have a right to see what their records. I honestly hadn't heard that issue. I would like to think it is the law, and maybe we have to work on the law, but as you know, these agencies will look for any excuse to raise up the cost so they don't have to provide the information. And so I wouldn't, I think that anytime they can bend the rules to make it more difficult for us, they do it, and this sounds like one of those cases where they're taking redaction statutes, which were probably put in for legitimate purposes, and trying to expand them to the point where it makes it impossible to get records, or be able to afford, for most of us, to be able to afford to get the records. Assuming I'm back in the legislature, that's one issue I'd like to pursue until we get it straight. It's a multi-year process, but it's definitely one that taxpayers deserve to know what their government's doing. It's that simple.